everybody, Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you the power rankings for Week 4 of the National Pokeball League. Joining me at last is the Sultan of Sass himself, Michael, who will be introducing himself and telling you why he should be the next one to get a rose on The Bachelorette.
I don't know about that, but I coach the Green Bay Palkias in the minors.
All right.
I'm better than everyone.
But anyway, Week 4 was relatively uneventful with the major theme of things going almost exactly as the way you expect. And last week had the closest matches to date. This week had basically just a ton of blowouts, with the closest match being 2-0 and the second closest being 4-0. So that made things relatively easy for Michael and I when it came to assigning rankings. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into them. Now, contrary to what the graphic displays, at number 12 I have the Montreal Cobalions, so I have to thank Jolt for screwing up the graphic, but we are just rolling with it right now. Michael and I both agree on number 12 for the Cobalions because they are 1-3 with a -10 differential. They were previously number 10 in my ranking. They are down 2, and they lost 0-4 to the San Antonio Swamperts. And when you lose convincingly to the bottom team as another bottom team, that pretty much means one thing: you will be at the bottom in this week's power rankings. Now, Michael, what were your observations from the match?
So I had Dave actually winning this game, and I was watching it, and he was doing fine at first, and then he made like 2 terrible plays that completely ruined the game, and then he got destroyed.
Yeah, I think, well, you were talking...
He switched out his Weavile.
Yeah.
Or he switched in his Weavile on a Heatran, and then something else that was bad.
Yeah, he switched in Weavile to a Heatran, which I don't know why you would almost ever do that. And then here's what the other one I think you're talking about, when he made the over-prediction with Zard X going for EQ on Dragonite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that... He had absolutely no reason to overpredict because Zard outsped the rest of San Antonio's team and could just really switch up moves, so I don't know what he was going for then.
Yeah, I did hear later that Dallas had a berry that was dark or dragon resist, but still,
Haban,
it was
I think.
dumb. Yeah.
But,
dumb.
I mean, still, like, you shouldn't have gone for a Dragon Claw and a multi-scale Dragonite anyway, because I don't think that would have killed even without the Haban berry, so...
Yeah.
Very, very questionable play there, and as a result, they got wrecked, and Zard X would have put in work against San Antonio otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, that is why the Montreal Cobalions are at number 12 this week and in the cellar.
Yes.
At 10 and 11, Michael and I just have the team switched, but I mean, it's generally the same spot. At number 11, I have the Washington Charizards, and he has the San Antonio Swamperts, and then at 10, we just have the other team. Now, I have the Charizards at 11 because they are 1-3 with a -6 differential. They were previously 11 in my ranking, so no change. They kind of just sort of got 6-0'd by the Atlanta Braviaries, and although it can never mean good things, the fact that Montreal lost very convincingly to the former bottom team led to Washington being able to avoid the cellar this week, so that's nice to say the least for them. So, Michael, what did you see in that battle?
Yeah, it just didn't go well, honestly. But I moved San Antonio up to 11 instead of 10 because they were last and they just won, so I only moved them up 1.
Yeah, I mean, that battle, this week we really don't have much to talk about in the battles at all, just because it was straight destruction. I mean, there weren't really many plays, to say the least. Like, the game of the week, I think, was a clean sweep in terms of how obvious the winner was. But, I mean, Washington just had nothing. They let their Tangrowth and Torn get crippled by Toxic early, but, I mean, again, it didn't really matter because Blissey, Doublade, and Seismitoad completely walled all of Washington's team. I mean, they had a rain team and they just got rain counter team, so it was destruction from the beginning. It wasn't pretty, and I admittedly just kind of fell asleep watching the battle because, I mean, there was nothing exciting about it. It was just destruction, but they were still able to avoid the cellar, so that's good. I mean, yikes. I guess. But, yeah, things aren't necessarily looking the best for Washington right now. At number 10, I have the San Antonio Swamperts, 1-3, -3 differential. They were previously in the cellar. I moved them up 2 just because they won, and I made them hop over Washington just because Washington got 6-0'd, and I couldn't just leave Washington up there or move them up after getting 6-0'd. I mean, that's no, that's not something that I would like to do. And they won 4-0 over Montreal, so it was really, really nice to see San Antonio get back on track with a convincing win this weekend. Although it was against another bottom team, seeing them win provides some optimism for them turning their season around. And they have a really good team, they have a really promising team, so I'm looking forward to see what they're able to pull off. And what did you see in the battle?
The
San Antonio versus Montreal.
Oh, yeah. Like
on the San Antonio side.
I mean, he played well. It's just, yeah, Dave played bad. But yeah, you're right. His team is the best of the three. I was kind of thinking about switching 10 and 11, but it was too late. But
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, watching that battle, I mean, it was very much a capitalizing on misplays from Montreal. Yeah. But I was really impressed with that lead matchup. Like, Taunt, HP Fire, Goth, I mean, was tailored to get Ferrothorn, and he got him first turn and was able to take him out with, like, I think only took 27% because of Taunt. I mean, that was pretty sick. And while he didn't have any switch-ins to Zardex, I mean, there aren't any switch-ins in general, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
And Agility Empoleon with a Sugarberry was able to set up on a Nidoking, take an Earth Power, and proceed to sweep the game. So, I mean, that was some decent foresight, but it was really just a matter of capitalizing on misplays that ultimately won the game for the Swamperts.
Mm-hmm.
At number 9, Michael and I both have the Colorado Avalugs, who are 1-3 with a -8 differential. They were previously number 9, so again, no change. Shocker on that one. They lost to the Phoenix Sunkerns 0-5, so that was, again, that was really convincing, so there wasn't any like hacks that really determined the game. I mean, I don't know if Michael's going to say this, but I did see a couple Stone Edges that changed the score, but I mean, it didn't really affect the outcome on the game. Was that kind of what you saw as well?
Yeah. Cheese just played better, and Fog's kind of a little rusty.
Yeah.
Observation on it.
I mean, he just could not handle the pressure applied by Cheese. I mean, Hazards were able to...
great.
Yeah, Hazards were able to do something, but by the time he managed to get a single layer of spikes and rocks up, it was too late. It was already like 5-3 or something like that, and it was just pretty much over. So, I mean, just got pressured to the point of not being able to do anything and just kind of sort of got destroyed. So, yeah, that's why the Avalugs are at number 9 this week. At number 8, we both have the New York Metangs, who are 1-3 with a -7 differential. They were previously number 8, so again, no change. I mean, this isn't even exciting this week. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
They provided the closest game of the week as they lost to the St. Louis Reshiram 0-2, and really, like, the match was just kind of trying to counter hyper offense. So, I mean, Michael, what all did you see with that?
That's probably the game I remember the least, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was really just kind of hyper offense trying to break down a relatively bulky team, and New York did make an excellent lead choice with the Moldbreaker Haxorus, able to take out Bronzong immediately with 2 consecutive Earthquakes, and with Moldbreaker mitigating Levitate. And P2 was actually able to handle a Salamence at +1, although it got immediately Revenge killed, and New York kind of got really lucky with their Venusaur against Tyranitar, as it dodged a +1 Stone Edge and then crit with Giga Drain to where Venusaur would have been 2-hit KO'd, but it was able to get a decent amount of health back from the Tyranitar and actually take out a huge threat. But the misplay, like probably the play of the week really in terms of the games, was when he went for T-Bolt with Victini against Azelf, which allowed Gyarados to set up when he should have U-turned on Azelf to prevent Gyara from being able to set up and sweep him, which ultimately cost him the game. Gyarados is just way too bulky to try to go for an unstabbed T-Bolt, and he also had a Venusaur in the back, which would have been able to Giga Drain to prevent Mega Gyarados from setting up. So is that pretty much what you saw as well?
Yeah.
So, I mean, New York kind of had the game, and actually I think they did have it if they didn't just make that huge misplay at the end. when it comes to the number 6 and number 7 slots, Michael and I are just completely switched, but I mean, same general idea. I have Manaphy City at number 7. He has the Oakland Rose Raiders. Now, Manaphy City is 1-3 with a -6 differential, and previously number 7, no change. You are going to be hearing that a heck of a lot. I don't think a single team moved this week in my top 8, so that's something, I guess. They lost to the Portland Timbers, the number 1 team, 0-4. Again, what happened was supposed to happen, and it was really just kind of a boring game again to see. But yeah, what all did you think about that battle?
I don't know. Yeah, he played decently, but I think his team wasn't good enough to win.
Yeah, I thought his team just couldn't handle all of Portland's threats. Like, he was able to take out a Nidoqueen with a Rotom Cut, which was kind of impressive. But, I mean, other than that, he just had a very poor matchup against Mega Gardevoir overall. But it really didn't come into play in the end. And he tried to mitigate that with, I think, a Wakanberry Skarmory. But unfortunately, the Wakanberry was wasted against Zapdos, who, again, he had a relatively poor matchup against. And it was nice to see that he actually had something for Calm Mind Cress, which... as soon as I saw Cheese use that, I wanted to just leave. Like, I was done as soon as I saw him being able to, as soon as I saw him calm minding. But when I saw Whirlwind Skarmory, I settled down. I was like, okay.
Did you just say Cheese?
Did I say Cheese? No, Toj. They're the same person in my mind. They really are. Like, I find myself thinking about Toj and Cheese as the exact same person. Oops. But I mean, despite him having something for Calm Mind Cress, like, it was still able to set up 3 separate times. So that was, even though he had something, it wasn't really able to do much against him. At number 6, I have the Oakland Rose Raiders, who Michael has at number 7. Again, 1-3, -5 differential, and no change from the previous rankings. And they lost to the number 2 team in my rankings, the number 1 team in Michael's, 0-4. And I was actually very impressed by Oakland's team this time. Weren't you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Because, I mean, like, early in the battle, he just gave Jolt such a hard time with Roar and Morning Sun Arcanine.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was just really unlucky as to what he was able to drag out. Because he didn't get Talonflame the entire time, which Jolt did not have a defogger, as it turned out. So if he had gotten Talonflame in, then that would have just basically been a free 50% on that.
Yeah.
But when Arcanine was taken out, that was pretty much the game. Like, he really didn't have anything for the rest of Jolt's team. And there was a brief glimmer that I saw when he was able to set up a nasty plot with Zoroark after bluffing, but it really wasn't enough.
Yeah.
At number 5, we have the Phoenix Sunkern, who are 2-2 with a +4 differential. We're finally in the positives.
Cheese.
Yeah, this is Cheese. This is Cheese, not Toj. My bad. They were previously number 5. Again, no change. You know what? I'm just not even going to say that because all of the teams above this point were where they were in my previous ranking, so I'm just leaving it at that there. They won 5-0 over the Colorado Avalugs, and despite being the only 2-2 team in the entire league, they're still currently in the playoffs and not as the bottom seed, so that tells you that this league is really, really top-heavy.
Yep. With
a lot of stuff going on with the bottom seeds. It's like the top 4 seeds are pretty much set. I mean, even already, with maybe the 4 or 5 seed being up for grabs. But I mean, it's really interesting so far. But yeah, what did you see in that battle?
Cheese just played well. His team, I was not sold on at the beginning, but he's obviously using it pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, pretty well means 500 in this league. I mean, hey, if it's good enough, it gets it done.
I mean, there's like 17,000 1-3 teams.
Exactly. So. I think there are, over half the league is 1-3.
Yeah, yikes.
That's ridiculous. I mean, he played it about as straightforward as Hyper Offense gets. Like, send in threats, kill stuff, switch out, cripple walls.
Regular Diancie, too, was surprisingly handling everything.
Yeah, I mean, Diancie is just too stupidly bulky. I'm surprised nobody has tried to run HP Steel on something yet just to catch it off guard and get it out of the way.
Yeah, he's brought it to just about every game.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's proving effective, and you can't knock him for using it if it's obviously working. So, yep, that is why we have the Phoenix Sunkern at number 5. All right, now for the top 4, and honestly, I would get used to seeing these 4 teams in most likely this order, because it's probably not going to change very much for the rest of the season, let's be real. But at number 4, we both have the Atlanta Braviaries. I mean, it's kind of straightforward why they're number 4. They are 3-1, so they're obviously a top 4 team, but they are not undefeated, so they can't be a top 3 team. So number 4 was obviously where they would end up, with a +7 differential after winning 6-0 over the Washington Charizards. And despite being very impressive, they were not able to move up because, like I said, they have 1 loss while everybody else has none.
Undefeated.
Yeah. So, like we said, I mean, this battle was just kind of destruction. I mean, wasn't that what you saw?
Yeah, that was oof.
I mean, it was basically Rain was Washington's only chance of winning against a
The rain was washed
counter
away.
team. Yeah. I mean, once he was able to wish Doublade back up to full health, I mean, it was just GG. I mean, it was kind of GG from the beginning.
Times.
But I mean, wishing Doublade. Oh, I'm talking about when he wished it up from like 1 HP.
Oh yeah, that was.
And I mean, he didn't even have to use his Zard Y Venusaur Sun Core to KO anything, which, I mean, he was just able to beat all of Washington's team with essentially like 3 Mons, and Venusaur even had an Assault Vest, so that was like just another nail in the coffin for Washington. So that was kind of excellent preparation by Atlanta, which showed in an absolute devastation and the biggest possible, I guess, score differential of the season. At number 3, we have the St. Louis Reshiram, 4-0, +11 differential. And they won over New York 2-0, and they're continuing their surprise one, but they fell out of a tie with the other undefeateds as they faced a little bit of a scare from New York and only won 2-0. So they no longer have the exact same differential like all 3 teams had this week. But I mean, they're still way up there. And what do you think of the battle?
Yeah, he did. I mean, it was a close game. It was just kind of hacksy and misplays and stuff. But I feel like just in general, he could lose the easiest out of the 2 teams ahead of him. So that's kind of why I have him at 3. Probably the weakest of the 3 team-wise, and yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way as well because, I mean, it's very obvious what he is going to bring. Like, he is a very top-heavy team in terms of the viable pokes he has available to him, and basically this week he just brought hyper offense and played it very much like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 team. Like, Bronzong was supposed to set up screens and hazards, even though he only got up a single screen. Then the rest of the team was either set up sweepers or just straight attackers. I mean, he brought 3 Dragon Dancers. I mean, when do you really ever do that? And it ultimately, I mean, that pressure was able to win as New York just made a single mistake that cost him the game. And Mega Gyarados was able to turn a 4-2 deficit into a 2-0 win. So, I mean, clearly the offense worked to where he didn't even have to send out that little Stoutland. But, I don't know, I'm still very skeptical of his team. I mean, it obviously works and he's obviously able to use it well, but I feel like he will be the first of those teams to lose.
I agree.
Yeah. At the 1 and 2 spot, I mean, both of these teams are essentially just tied for the number 1 spot, in my opinion. Is that the same with you?
Yeah, Dane's number 1 because his name is Dane.
Yeah, I mean, he likes Jolt. I don't. That's the biggest difference we have there. The Toronto Star Raptors and the Portland Timbers are both 4-0 with a +13 differential. I mean, they're pretty much identical teams, and they both won identically this week, 4-0 over their opponents. Toronto won 4-0 over Oakland. Portland won 4-0 over Manaphy City. And, I mean, Toronto naturally is tied for the top. I mean, both teams are at the top. And what did you see from Jolt in his battle?
He just played well, as he should, because he's Dane.
I mean, I'm sure he had some help from an expert damage calc. That's my own way of tooting my own horn there. But, I mean, he couldn't break Arcanine, but when he was finally able to take it out, it was pretty much over from there. Even when Zoroark set up a nasty plot, I mean, Mach Punch Breloom was a safety net that was able to clean up the game. So, I mean, it was really just a straightforward match and just kind of straightforward destruction by the Toronto Star Raptors. So that was it was nice to see, but I mean, that's about as boring as you can get. I kind of want to see one of these two teams get knocked off next week. I mean, that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Portland's match, I mean, just I can't talk about Cress.
Yeah, I think Cam just had a bad matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Toe's just kind of. I mean, I kind of want him to just get rid of Cress. I want Cress to be banned.
See,
because,
I love Cress, but
what is wrong with you?
I mean, I have it.
It makes such boring matchups. I mean, he did bring Calmine Cress, which, I mean, put in work,
My favorite.
Course. Guts Hariyama was, I mean, I will give him a small clap for that one because it was able to 2-hit KO a Hippo with Guts CC.
Yeah, you don't see that.
Yeah,
but
and then
the physical move often.
Mm-hmm. And then just Mega Guard. He played it safely, played it smartly. It was able to just get rid of the rest of Manaphy City's team. Yeah. So, I mean, that was just smart play by Toj. I mean, that's why he's number one. Plays smart and he wins. So, yeah, once again, the theme of this week was boring battles and almost zero upsets. I mean, if you call San Antonio beating Montreal an upset, I don't really consider that one an upset at all. But, I mean, yeah, any final thoughts?
Dane Erickson Day needs to be a thing.
Leaf Erickson Day already is. So
yeah,
we're just
we
going
need
to...
Dane Erickson, too.
Yeah, we've actually talked about trying to make that a thing, like walk around in Viking helmets and red beards and just see if we can convince everybody that it's actually Dane Erickson Day and not a Leaf Erickson. But anyway, That will be it for the Power Rankings for this week. Thank you for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe to the MPL. Are we at 100 yet? I think we're at slightly over 100.
Yeah, I think Trev is the reason we're at 100. But
well, of course. But anyway, thank you for watching again, and this is Michael and Styx signing out.
Dane.
Why not? See you guys.